Hi there. It was a cold winter day. The sun was shining, but it wasn't very warm. As I walked through the park, I started to shiver. It was one of those days where you just want to stay inside by the fireplace with a nice cup of hot chocolate. But no, I had to walk my dog. My dog, well, his name is Max. He's a golden retriever, and he loves to go for walks in the park, especially when it snows. When the snow falls, Max goes crazy. He runs around in circles, jumps, barks, and rolls over in the snow. To him, it's the most exciting thing that can happen. He loves to eat snow, too.
Oh.
When he eats snow, his tongue turns blue. But don't worry, that's just because he has a lot of fun. It doesn't hurt him. So we walked and walked. The only sounds were the crunch of the snow under our boots and the birds singing in the trees. Suddenly, Max stopped. He sniffed the air like a detective. Then he started to bark. At first, I thought he saw another dog, maybe a cat or a squirrel. You know how dogs are. You see a lot of things that aren't really there. So I kept walking. But then I heard it. A small noise, like a meow, but not a meow. It was a strange sound. I looked around, but it was just snow. All around me, white, soft, and sparkling snow, and then I saw it. On a leaf, sitting all by itself, a tiny speck. It looked like a small dot of icing on a cake. I bent down to get a closer look. What I saw made me gasp. It was a snowflake. Not just any snowflake, the very first snowflake of the year. You see, snowflakes don't just appear. They start out as tiny ice crystals high up in the clouds. When the temperature drops below zero, water vapor in the clouds freezes into tiny ice crystals. The crystals grow and change shape as they fall. Sometimes they look like stars, other times they look like little trees. They come in many different shapes and sizes. But this was the first one to reach the ground that year. And who discovered it? It's a dog named Max. How do you think he felt? Excited, proud, important? Well, maybe a little bit of all three. After all, he did discover something very special. He barked again, and this time I understood what he wanted. He wanted me to throw the snowflake, so I did. He chased after it, but it disappeared before he could catch it. We walked home in silence. Both of us were lost in thought. I wondered how many more snowflakes would fall that winter. And Max, well, I think he was wondering if he could catch one in his mouth. The next day I went back to the park to see if it had snowed more, but no, there wasn't a single flake. And the day after that, it was the same. But I knew that the first snowflake had melted away long ago. It was gone without a trace. But that didn't mean that winter hadn't begun. In fact, sometimes the very best days are the ones when it snows. What will you do when the first snowflake of the year lands on your hand? Will you try to catch it? Will you make a wish? Or maybe you'll do what Max did, and that is to bark at the sky until it snows even more. 'Cause when it snows, life is more fun. See you next time.